Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Hendricks and I'm the facilitator for CUPS.
I'm Chris Hendricks. I'm the web weaver for CUPS.
CUPS stands for Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans.
The Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans is a committee of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tampa. I made it.
Hey! Excellent. So we are here tonight to bring you the virtual full moon celebration for the month of February, and tonight's ritual will be put on by Exordium Coven. So they always bring a really good show, so you'll enjoy tonight's ritual as they celebrate in bulk. Okay, a few announcements for you. The next CUPS meeting is on February 27th, so it's a week from Sunday.
Hint, the website's currently wrong. I'm going to fix it when I publish this.
Yeah, so taken care of. So we had to move it due to a church meeting that we have to attend. So the meeting will be on Sunday, February 27th at 1 p.m. via Zoom. March is full moon, so the next full moon celebration will be on March 19th. We don't know yet if that's going to be in person in the Dome or if it's going to be virtual. Plan on it being virtual for now. If the positivity rate takes a sudden dive for some strange reason, we'll be in person. But again, plan on it being virtual for now. It'll be ritual one way or the other. And that's going to be put on by Pinellas Pagan Circle of Friends, led by Aaliyah. What else? Oh, Witches Masquerade Ball. Hey, that's supposed to be in October. That's going to be October 29th. So it's never too early to start planning for the Witches Masquerade Ball. So we're going to start planning meetings for that in March. Watch the website and Facebook and all those good places for announcements of the planning meetings. Please come get involved. It takes an army to put that event on, and we know it's going to be a huge bash, and we're going to have a great time. We don't know if it's going to be inside or outside. It's all kind of COVID dependent, but we're really planning on doing it this year, and we want to do it right. So it's going to take an army of volunteers to do that. So please, if you're interested at all in being involved, let us know. You can contact us at cups@uutampa.org, but definitely get involved if you're interested. We need help. So,
and even if you don't know what to do, show up to the meetings. We will put you to work.
We will put you to work. It's not a problem. We got lots of things to be done. So,
and don't be afraid of that. There's easy stuff too.
Yeah, there's easy stuff and hard stuff. And if you want an easy task, we'll give you an easy task. No worries. Okay, and then that's the last thing, and that's all you.
The last thing is, our church is not a rich church. We would love to have any donations that you could spare. All you do is go to donate.cupstampa.org. If you put it under the line CUPS, our committee gets credit for bringing the donation to the church. Please give as much as you can.
Thank you guys so much. Stay safe, be well, be safe, and we will see you very soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
When elementals collide and the fates do ride, the pathway of souls not passed, the empathic reply and reach to the sky and rights honored throughout life's past. A magical, mystical consortium of hearts appears as a prologue, a story, a work. The exordium arrives, an entanglement of lives from the future, the present, the past. A long and winding tale drew them tight together in a much shorter time, spending many a day and many a night in a timeless space. Who's surprised? Sacred ways in the eclectic maze of diversity skills put to task supports the demand as together we band in rejoicing as spots and spots. So turn the wheel and let your spirit be healed, and no doubt it will then take flight. Join us this evening, since from the beginning we have embraced the art of the right. We are Exordium. Welcome to magical brooms, Brighty dolls, Bridget crosses, spirals, lore, and learning anew. The goddess Bridget is with us. We gather under her mantle and light her perpetual flame in the hope of returning spring. We gather as friends, brothers, sisters, and witches within her light.
Sol
awed, God of youth. Bless the incense that swirls in the morning air with your divine inspiration. Let it cleanse us of old thoughts and bring forth the new.
Bridget, goddess of the forge, bless this Athene, forged in fire with your divine inspiration. Let it cut away the old, that our spirits will be rekindled.
Bridget, bless, goddess of the healing well, bless this sacred water with your divine inspiration. Let it heal us of the past so that we may be ready for the future.
Bridget, goddess of the green mantle, bless the sea salt with your divine inspiration. Let your mantle of protection surround us in our growing endeavor.
Salt and water, inner and outer, body and soul be cleansed. I cast out all that is harmful, bring in all that is good and healing, by the powers of life, death, and rebirth. So mote it be. I cast this circle, a sacred space. I cast this circle, a timeless place. I cast this circle of protection this night, as between the worlds we perform our rites. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Come, ye spirits of the north, powers of earth. Your bounty sustains us through winter. Be with us as the silent cavern, place of renewal. We bid you hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome. Come, ye spirits of the east, powers of air. Sail on crisp winter wings as you bring the golden dawn. Be with us as a clear night sky. We bid you hail and welcome. Hail and welcome.
Come, ye spirits of south, powers of fire. Bring the heat of the flame to warm our hearts. Be with us as a welcoming hearth. We bid you hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
Come, ye spirits of the west, powers of water. You nourish the earth and bathe us in sweet rains. Be with us as a quiet snowfall. We bid you hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
Blessed breed of the springtime, blessed Angus oak of new love, we ask that you join us as we ready ourselves for the coming spring. We bid you hail and welcome. Hail and welcome.
We are always in a never-ending state of becoming. Centuries ago, we mastered many arts, monitoring the natural world's seasonal and weather changes, managing community, midwifery, animal husbandry, fabrics, gardening, herbal medicine, pottery, art, dance, the baking of bread, brewing of beer and wine, were only a few of the crafts perfected as we read the stars, read our own written words, and advised all from the youngest in the villages to the eldest. We claim this rich history. We are the descendants. Our powers are growing. We use this time of year well to pass down the lessons, the legends, and the skills that will be needed in the coming seasons. Preparing, repairing, and creating all that will be needed for the coming spring.
Hi everyone, my name is Elise. I am from the Exhordium Coven, and today we are going to make Bridget's crosses. This is one I made in bulk last year. It's very pretty, and I'm going to show you guys how to make these. So what you're going to need is about a handful of pipe cleaners, however many you want. 20 is a sacred number for Bridget, or you can go 19, whichever works for you. So you're going to take this first one and you are going to fold it in half, just like that, nice and neat. And you're going to do this for 4 of them. Now this is going to be your start. Starting is always the hard part, but if you can get past this, you can do the rest. So there are 2 different methods to making Bridget's crosses. I will show you both because they're fun. This one looks complicated because this is the more complicated version. So I'm going to show you the very, very basic, easy version, but funny enough, they both start the same exact way. So you have a little hole right here where my finger is. That is where this guy's going to go. But make sure you still leave a little bit of room here, and I will explain that actually, no, that goes all the way down here, I'm sorry. It's been a hot minute since I've had to make these. So now you have a dangly bit here. You're going to take your next one, open it up a little bit, so it has looks like little legs. I'm going to put that right up there. And it's safe to put these 2 about right next to each other. Or you can keep them farther apart, whichever helps you get this next part. This last part is how we are going to make the actual cross. So you take your final one, open the legs. This is where it gets tricky. You're going to open it through along those, and both legs need to go in the hole. I don't know if you can see that all right. And then you just pull that through the hole. And at this point, once you get everything done, you tighten it. And it should look something like this. Now this is the start of your Bridget's cross. It's very hard to see on this version, but if I expand this a little bit, you can see the shape you want. It's that. So that is what your Bridget's cross is going to look like. So before I get too far into it, this is the start of the more complicated one. And I'm going to take another one of these and just real quick show you the not as complicated ones. I'm going to take 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. I'm going to take 8 of these just to make it a little easier for myself. And once again, I'm going to do this in bulk. In bulk. I'm so funny. Pun not intended. And we're just going to do it like we did last time. So you want to fold those in half. Make sure you have a good crease right there. And then this part is the easiest way to make the cross if you just don't want to do all the work, or if you just are in a rush. Which is funny because in-bulk crosses or Bridget's crosses are typically made from rushes found in Ireland very locally. So you can usually pick them up at riverbeds. Bridget is, if you did not know, is this goddess of the sacred rivers. So what you want to do is you take these, whatever. This is going to make 1 limb. I'm only doing 8 of them, so we don't get bogged down too much. And just like last time, we're going to treat these like we did on this, but we're going to use multiples of them. Once again, we're going to put these little legs around these guys. Once again, you want to make sure this is pretty loose and you're holding it. Don't let it go, because I've had instances where I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I let it go, and then you had to start all over. Okay, so since this one has the little loop up here, I'm going to put the legs through this one. Okay, here we go. Although this is quicker, this can be a bit trickier than doing it the more complicated looking way. So now I have to line up my loops a little bit. I did this wrong. That's right. So these actually go around, this goes in. If you can't tell, this is a lot of weaving. And I pull that loop all the way up. So now I have this loop here. This loop exposed. Elise, did you mess up? I think I did. I do this all the time. This is one thing about life, you know, you never stop learning, and then it turns into a Bob Ross experiment. Making happy little trees, making happy little Bridget's crosses, man. There are no mistakes here. Okay, that looks a lot better. Because if you can, at this point, with the exception of this one, if you can pull them and they're falling apart, that's when you know you did something wrong. So then I take my last 2 branches, I'm going to put that down because I know that's 3/4 of the way done. Split them up a little bit. And just like last time, we're going to go around these. Make sure you are splitting them with your finger. And then you're going to take these ends and you're going to poke them through. And this is the, oh, I missed a spot. Poke that through. Is it through? It's through. You thought threading needles was hard. Alrighty, so we're just going to poke that all through, give it a nice tug, twist. And this is a very basic, not nearly as hard, Bridget's cross. See how that's done and done. So going back to our slightly more complicated one, and take more cute little guys. I'm gonna start with this one. So you can kind of start on whatever whichever angle you want. But now that this is done, this is gonna be very easy for the rest. So once again, you're folding this in half. And once you see what I'm doing, it's gonna be pretty obvious what you're supposed to do. So you want to make sure so I'm obviously putting this, the 2 legs are going around that 1 limb. I'm leaving a little room here because of this. So I'm going to tilt it so the little loopy loop is on the bottom. You can also put it on the top. Doesn't really matter as long as you are holding it in a certain way that allows you to do this. You take your thing, fold in half, take the legs around. It's going to go around the limb, through the hole. Pretty sure I'm singing. These are lyrics of the Rattling Bog. If you don't know what that song is, highly recommend you look it up. What did I just do wrong? No, I'm right. So that one you just poked through, same thing as last time. Keep it open, gonna rotate it. Take another little bitty of these, fold it in half, poke it through. And you do this basically until the end of time or until the goddess Brighty tells you to stop. Whichever way works for you. I usually go until 20, but because I don't have like unlimited time here, I'm just gonna give you the brief history of what the heck I'm doing while I make this. And once you get to the 4th limb, it should almost be like completely into one piece together. So I have this, I'm going to go around the limb, through the hole, and should you have done this correctly, and it looks like I'm doing it right, you will have this. And once again, just like before, you're going to tug, tighten, kind of like you're tying a knot. And so you're going to start getting this cool kind of crisscross pattern going out. It's going to look a little more like a spiral. Here, Robin did hers also last year, and here you can actually kind of see the wheel-esque shape. So I'm going to keep going. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about these. So this is a type of solar cross. If you do not know what that is, a solar cross is an equal-armed cross. These are typically used to represent the sun, and Bridget is a goddess of the sun, fun fact. So the Irish legend, I don't know too much about the Irish beginnings, or the pagan beginnings of the cross. But the Christians, when they went to Ireland, and the Irish pagans were like, "Oh, we really like our Bridget. We don't want to lose her." And the Christians said, "Hey, we got a girl who does the exact same thing." She came with her own legend. So Saint Bridget was a Catholic saint. She was born to her Druidic father. Her mother, I think, was a slave, or something along those lines. And she did perform many miracles. She's often on the backs of St. Patrick medals, and that's because the 2 of them are the big head honchos in terms of Catholic Ireland. So, she learned from the feet of the master, basically, in terms of Christianity and Catholicism. So she eventually went home to her dying Druid father, who she managed to convert to Christianity. And she actually converted him on his deathbed. And as she talked to him about, Jesus and the church and, all that, the good stuff, not the whole fire and brimstone stuff. At least I don't think it's really in her character. But, I need to get a tug. Did I do something wrong? I did, didn't I? Happy little trees. As she was telling him this, she took rushes that were on the floor of the little hut that they lived in. It was probably a roundhouse, as a very traditional Celtic home at the time. And she took these rushes and made him a cross. Obviously, I don't have to go into the symbolism of the cross. She made him a cross out of the rushes. And by the time she was done, he had died a Christian. So that's how that came from. But so Bridget is a very multifaceted goddess. She is worshipped, or not worshipped, but definitely revered by both Catholics, Christians, and pagans. Fun fact about her church in Kildare, which is the Sill of the Oak, which is actually how Kildare got its name, County Kildare. It was originally a pagan temple tended by 19 priestesses. Each day they would take a turn tending the flame, and on the 20th they would leave it for Bridget to tend it herself. So this is kind of reminiscent, well, to me it's reminiscent of the Jewish legend of the menorah that was stayed lit for 8 days and 8 nights. Now the Christians came, they didn't necessarily like that, and so they made the pagan priestesses nuns, and they still did the exact same thing, just under a different name. Bridget was deemed, instead of a goddess, an abbess. Yeah, well, that's how that turns out. And the flame was extinguished, I believe, in the 16th century, but was later rekindled in the 1980s. So that is, if you go there, a perpetual flame that has been burning at least for 40 years, but it symbolically has been burning since pagan times of ancient Ireland. So that's how you make two types of Bridget's crosses. This one looks fairly fancy in the middle. This one is if you're busy and you have kids or something. And I hope you really enjoyed this little lesson in making a Bridget's cross. These will, if on in Ireland on Imbolc, or Candlemas, there are two holidays associated with Bridget. They would weave these from rushes and put them on the doors. These would act as protection charms for the rest of the year, and then they'd be rewoven during Imbolc of the next year. So when you make these, I want you to put them on your door or your kids' rooms or somewhere near an entrance, and know that the goddess Bridget, or the saint, whichever your beliefs are, is watching over you and protecting anyone within your home. Thanks for coming along with me.
Along with our Bridget crosses for protection, we also create our Brighty dolls for prosperity in the coming year, for fertility, and I think they add a little extra protection myself. Now these can be made out of reeds, straw, pipe cleaners, corn silk, whichever you like. You're going to want to get your little cluster of reeds or corn silk together, whichever you would prefer. Now to make the head, this gets a little tricky. You've got to wrap them together at the end with wire or string or whatever you got around handy. And then you're going to very carefully fold these down to make the head. Now I'm just using this as an example. I don't have enough to make the whole body. But this goes down and around to make the head, and then you wrap the string, rubber bands, wires, whatever you've got to make the head. Now I'm going to make a full body one out of reeds. With the reeds, you've got to soak them in water, hot water preferably, because you're going to wilt them. You're actually going to try to wilt them so that you can bend them. Otherwise, they will snap. So here's a cluster of reeds that I have done just that. These were all folded completely out. They were bundled together. They were soaked in hot water, flipped down, put the nice little wire here, and now this is our doll's neck. Now to make the arms, I decided to use wheat stalks. So here is a nice little bundle of wheat stalks that have been tied together. And we're going to bring these up in the center of our doll to make her arms. Da-da-da, da-da-da. And you can make these as beefy or thin as you want. You know, it's up to personal preference. There we go. Now we're going to need a nice little wire to make her waist. There go. Grab a nice little wire here and wrap that around to make her waistline. Da-da-da. There we go. I actually cut these pipe cleaners in half so they would be easier to work with. And then you can do her little hands right here. You can do the same thing. And you can get as colorful or fancy with these as you like. Make your jewelry, whatever you think feels good to you. There we go. There. So her little wrist, so she's got like a little hand. There we go. Like I said, these are just pipe cleaners cut in half so that they're easier to use. There we go. There. And then you want to determine the length. I'm thinking right about there. Okay. The neat thing about these is they'll bush out and make her like a nice little skirt. Okay, remind me to sharpen my scissors, okay? There we go. Get that just the right length. There. Now, you can decorate. I actually have some lovely blue flowers here. Some people like to make a little fan to put behind her. Kind of makes her look a little holy. And some people like to do it the other way around, put flowers to make a skirt. So you can just kind of cut some of these off and give her a little decoration. Now I imagine these days people use glue guns and they probably go just absolutely crazy with the glue guns. But we did not have glue guns when I was young. So we would just, decorate her little skirt. And we didn't usually get real fancy with any little fans behind her. We would usually just do the skirt. But you can spend as much time as you want getting really fancy with your Brighty doll. Here, I'll just, for brevity, just put in one more flower. So you can get as fancy as you want. Once you have your little Brighty doll, you want to put her in a nice little basket. You want her to have a nice little bed. And then you want to do a little sewing and make her a nice little blanket. This little blanket and this little pillow were actually made by Elise last in bulk. So there she's got her nice little blankie and her nice little pillow. You can dress her up, and then you want to display her prominently to bring blessings, fertility, and safety into the new year.
Take up your broom and feel it in your hands. This is an ancient tool of the craft and the home. Bridget is a goddess of both. She's a loving mother and a fierce warrior, as we all are. We nurture and protect one another. This broom will protect and serve us in our new workings. As we cleanse and charge this space, we will say a phrase, and we will ask that you repeat the phrase as you sweep from east to west, following the path of the sun.
I am a blacksmith, forging my own destiny.
I am a blacksmith, forging my own destiny.
I am a healer, taking care of myself and others.
I am a healer, taking care of myself and others.
I am a flame, capable of great power.
I am a flame, capable of great power.
Now that the space has been cleansed and charged, take up a candle and light it. As it burns, we will walk the spiral and let the heat of our candles guide the energy to carry out our intentions. Let its glow light the way onward into the uncertain year. Let the shape of the flame reflect the shaping of our futures. Watch as the wick burns down. It is burning away the negatives of the past, leaving this new day full of possibilities. A clean slate. The spiral is a fundamental form found in nature. The spiral is a sacred symbol of the goddess and transformative powers. The vortex of energy in a spiral allows us to connect with our deepest selves, the web of life, and the divine. The spiral is also symbolic of winter hibernation. During the cold months, we turn inward for a time of reflection. But the same spiral of energy that leads us downward, inside ourselves in winter, eventually leads us up toward the light of spring. The spiral is used in manifesting. While we walk the spiral, chant,
let it begin with each step we take, and let it begin with each wish we make. Let it begin with each breath we take, and let it begin every time we wake. May our wishes and intentions manifest into the visible world. As above, so below, so let it be.
Blessed Bridget and Angus Og, we rejoice that you have blessed our right with your power and presence this night. Stay if you will, go if you must. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Spirits of West, of waters that fill the rivers in spring. Stay if you will, go if you must. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Spirits of South, of fire that provides new beginnings. Stay if you will, go if you must. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Spirits of East, of air and precious breath of life, stay if you will, go if you must. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell. Spirits of North, of earth that sustains us, stay if you will, go if you must. We bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
Our circle is open, but never broken. May the peace of Bridget remain in our hearts. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
May the circle be open but unbroken. May the love of the goddess be ever in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. May the circle be open but unbroken. May the love of the God be ever in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. May the circle be open but unbroken. May divine peace be ever present in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.
As you sweep from east to west, following the path of the sun.
That was a cut.
That better be in the bloopers.
That's west, right? East?
All right. I'm going to read now. Now that this words are hard, I need my teeth.
And farewell.
Hail and farewell.
We'll try that one again. Definitely. The right and the blessing of video. Yes.